Point that we rarely hear each other. Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio here on the Voice of Liberty. The number to call after the first break, 585-346-3000. Yeah, I'm going to do it. You're like, Larry, like every show, you're somehow talking about this Mamdani guy. You're not wrong. Guilty as charged. I keep bringing it up because it's a thing. It is a thing here in New York City. And you might say, Larry, I'm tired of hearing about New York City. Well, you better not be tired because it's coming to you if we don't fix it here. So, yep, I'm yapping again. But I don't want to just yap about him because he is a symptom. He isn't the core or root problem. I know some of you think that. Well, you're wrong. In reality, he is a symptom of something a whole lot bigger. How do I know that? Well, for those of you who've been paying attention to me, you would know that I actually interviewed him on my podcast, The Sharpe Way, for those who don't know, about 3 years ago. Mamdani is my assemblyman. I accept your condolences. Yes, so I knew that this guy was going to be something special. I knew he was going to be something special back in the day. And that's why I interviewed him. I warned some people about him, and they ignored me. So my question is, why? In theory, there's no way a guy like Mamdani should be able to be the mayor of the biggest city in the country, right? Shouldn't we? I mean, New York City is the financial capital of the nation. We wouldn't want someone who's a socialist, or as Trump calls him, communist, or whatever. We wouldn't want that, would we? Well, maybe, yeah. Maybe we do. I don't mean we as in me and you, obviously, but I mean we as in the city itself. Maybe they actually want him. But why would they? And then how did this happen? Because here's the part that most people don't know. According to every poll, now you may not trust polls, but it's fine, whatever you feel. Every poll, none of them have him at an actual majority. What do I mean by that? That means his highest polls are about 48%. His highest. When you go like head to head. Generally speaking, he doesn't break 50%. So most of New York City voters don't want him. So how, what? This is nuts, right? Again, I warn people. Why would I warn people of this? Why would I know this is going to happen? Because I'm super smart? I mean, I am. But that's not the reason why. The reason is I recognize something. He had a plan. You might go, but Larry, it's a terrible plan. You're right. You're not wrong. But it's a plan. You tell me no Democrats before him had plans? Correct. That's what I'm telling you. It's always business as usual. Yes. But Larry, then, why don't people vote Republican then? Okay, that's a valid question. I like that question. Why don't they, when they see the Democrats have no answer, why don't they just vote Republican? How about that? Well, because Republicans don't have an answer either. Why? Because they keep thinking they have no chance, that they cannot win. So why bother having a plan? And this is where my whole concept. Whose actual fault is this? Is this a Democrat's fault? Is this Republicans' fault? Is it both? Here's what I'll say. Whether it's Sliwa's fault or not, and people want to blame Sliwa, I know. Look, I am biased. Be very clear, I'm biased. I know Curtis personally. I like him. So I'm a little biased when I speak about Curtis. I don't want it to be his fault, whether you think it is or not. But why didn't the New York City GOP, why didn't it go, oh my God, we actually had this Mamdani guy running. We got a shot at making some impact. Let's do one of two things. Let's have a real primary and have Sliwa and others fight this out with a bunch of people, the best Republicans we can get out of the city, and see if we can win this damn thing. Or let's throw a bunch of money at Sliwa so that we could actually get him into have an actual campaign so he can maybe win this thing. Larry, there's no way Republicans going to get a majority in New York City. It's 6-1, Democrat to Republican. You're right. But with Mamdani in the race, and with Cuomo, and at the time, not now, but at the time, Adams also running independent, and at the time, Jim Walden running independent, he didn't need a majority. He only needed a plurality with a 5-person race. That was winnable. They dropped the ball on that one. But Larry, no, there's no but Larry. They dropped the ball on that one. I did warn them, but don't listen to Larry because he's just always right. That's all. He's just always right. Don't listen to him. So that's what happened. So do I blame the GOP? Partially, yes. Not 100%. But partially, yes. They dropped the ball. But if I say partially, that means you blame somebody else. I do. Excuse me. I also blame Democrats. Why? They haven't had a plan to fix this city in 30 years. Haven't. Even when Giuliani was mayor, Democrats had no plan. They haven't had a plan in 30 years to fix this city. It's been decay, 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 and decay. And here comes Mamdani. And the Democrats go, he can't win. He's a socialist. Come on, he can't win. We got Cuomo. We got the king himself. We'll be fine. Yeah, that didn't work. Absolutely no. That didn't work. So yeah, they dropped the ball too. They had the opportunity to make something happen. They had an opportunity to fix things. And they did neither. Nobody fixed anything in this city. And here comes Mamdani. He says, I got a plan. Free buses. And you might go, free buses. I mean, come on. Free buses. That's what you got. And he said, what the rest of the people got? Oh, nothing. I'll take free buses. Thanks. I'll take free buses. Do that. The other guys got nothing. So yeah, I blame them too. But I want to talk to the other person, about the other person, Jim Walden. Jim Walden, again, I hate to say this, but I got to be clear. Also a friend of mine. Know him too. So I'm a little biased in both cases. I happen to know some of the people who are running. So just so you know, I don't personally know Eric Adams. I don't personally know Cuomo, but I've actually met Mamdani too. So some of these people I actually know, just for full disclosure, as they say. Walden was running. I liked him. I mean, I still like him. He was independent. He was trying to fix things. He was trying to create a middle ground, which in New York City is crazy to even imagine, but he was trying that. He was trying to have actual policies to fix things. He was trying to make things happen in New York City, but he was worried about something. The spoiler effect. God, I hate that spoiler effect. As a libertarian, I'm attacked many times on that spoiler effect thing. Yes, I am. He wanted to fix something. He said, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to run and I'm going to surge and I got a shot at winning in this 5-way race, which, to be forward, this was the best chance for a guy like him to win, right? A 5-way race with a bunch of independents, people who are unpopular. If an independent's going to win, that's the time, right? If that's going to happen, this is the time. I'm not saying he was going to win, but if you're going to roll the dice as an independent in New York City, this was the year. This was the time to pick up the dice and throw them, for sure. But he was worried. He saw something. He saw Mamdani. He began his run before Mamdani won the primary. He was ready to go. He thought this is going to be a good year. And he was right. I mean, Jim was right. Mamdani wins. Jim got scared. I don't think he would, if he happens to be listening, Jim, I hope you're listening. If you happen to be listening, I don't think Jim would say I'm wrong. I think Jim got scared. He went, we can't have this Mamdani guy win. I want to roll the dice. I want to take my shot. But I'm scared that maybe what I do will put Mamdani into the mayorship. Can't do it. And he dropped out. He had 7 figures ready to run for mayor. I'm not joking. He had 7 figures ready to run. I said, I can't do it. I'm going to bail. Him bailing. And by the way, to be fair to Jim, he said that he would do so. So he's a man of his word. He said, looking at the polling in October, he wanted to make a deal with everybody. It was the spoiler pledge. I think I got it right. Might have called it something else. I think he called it a spoiler pledge. And he said, everybody who's not Mamdani should look at the polls, and he'll help buy him if they want. And whoever's leading, who's not Mamdani, that person will stay in, and the rest will drop out. They all ignored him. He was the only one who said that, and the only one who did it. The independent was the guy, Jim Walden, with the most integrity of the entire bunch. Am I crazy? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Radio, the voice of liberty. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
For the last couple of years, Joe Robach has been telling you about Flower City Collision in Henrietta, saying that it was started by a veteran along with his son, Zach. Hi, my name is Greg Sadwick, and I am that veteran. I want to thank the WYSL listeners for their support over the last couple of years. During those years, not only have I experienced the gratification of providing you the best repairs and customer service, it has also allowed me the opportunity to see my son develop as a young professional. So remember, Flower City Collision for your collision repair needs. And thank you for supporting our locally owned family business.
Donald Trump and conservatives may have won, but you know the left will unceasingly try to undermine society and spread evil, targeting the innocent and God-fearing, especially our children. Help promote a truth-based society and try something different in 2025. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Reach our huge audience, entertained, inspired, and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable, effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 585-346-3000 to advertise.
Hey, if you like history and you like airplanes, the National Warplane Museum in Geneseo, New York is the place to go. Tours, exhibits, events, vintage aircraft, and more. Visit nationalwarplanemuseum.com for more details.
Sharpe Radio on the voice of liberty.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe on the Voice of Liberty, Sharpe Radio. 585-346-3000 is the number to call. I've been talking all about Mamdani's looks like he's going to win. Now, I've been talking to some people across the city, and some of them still think he's going to lose. They still think Cuomo's going to win this thing. And I wonder, are they so establishment that they simply can't imagine Mamdani winning, and their ideology is blinding them into thinking that, well, no, of course Cuomo will win? Or do they know something I don't? Initially, I thought there's no way Mamdani could win. I thought the same thing. I thought he could make impact, but I was worried. I said, at one point, the Democrats, the establishment, is going to shut him down, right? I mean, they shut down Bernie back in 2016. They shut down Bernie back in 2020. Shut down Bernie 2024. They'll shut this guy down, right? Maybe not. Maybe the Democrats in 2025 made the same mistake. Yes, I'm using air quotes. The Republicans made in 2015. Republicans thought, no way Trump could win this thing. No way. We'll put him right down. That didn't work. I think the same thing might have happened here. And then even afterwards, after Trump had won the primary in 2016 election, Republicans still thought, no way. This guy can't win. It's going to be President Hillary. No way. They were kind of wrong on that one. Are Democrats wrong this time? Have they made that error? Maybe. I don't know. Let me grab a couple of comments. Mike Voss is in the house. He says, no, Mamdani is a Democrat issue. The DSA, by the way, that is the Democratic Socialist of America, has the only Dem with anything to offer besides more of the same. True, you're not wrong. GOP problem was not funding Sliwa. Yes, but then, right? But then, doesn't that also put blame on the New York City GOP? I'm not blaming one. I'm blaming them all. And I think the Democrats should have had some plan to fix something. And the Republicans should have seen this coming, and they should have funded Sliwa. They should have thrown money at him. I mean, they should have thrown, Mike, they should have thrown $10 million at him. Imagine if they had thrown $10 million at Sliwa, say, I don't know, even as early as February. April even. I'll take April. They'd throw $10 million at him in April. Where he be now? Yeah. He says, given Dem supermajority, Sliwa is not the factor. Look, I'm biased. I like Curtis. I'm going to agree not his fault. But I can't let the New York City GOP slide on this one too. They also screwed up. That's just my view. That is my view. So, all righty. Let me see if I can go down here a little bit if I can. All righty. I do have so many more of these. And I do love all the people who are popping in. All right. Gene says, the Independent was the only one with integrity. Imagine that. That's funny. Look, but there's a part of me that's mad at Jim. Jim, if you're listening, don't be mad. I'm just saying, there's a part of me that's mad at him, Gene. Because I wanted him to stay in to make impact. I did. And that's selfish of me. Don't get me wrong. I recognize that's selfish of me. But there's a part of me that wanted him to stay in and make some impact. Because he probably could have got 5-10%. That's possible. He could have done it. So, look, I get why he dropped out. I'm saying there's a part of me that wishes he didn't. And a second piece is, I wish, the problem is the norm. The press, Gene, didn't take his pledge seriously. He made a pledge, a spoiler pledge, and the rest of the guys were supposed to all agree, and they didn't. And they should have. Now you might go, but Larry, Eric Adams dropped out. But Eric Adams didn't drop out saying, oh, it's because I'm scared Mamdani, world's going to end, get behind whatever Cuomo, or get behind Sliwa. He didn't say that. Eric said, the media keeps trying to get me to out, and now no one believes in me, so I can't raise money. Poor me. I have to drop out because media bad. I mean, media is bad. He's not wrong. But he didn't say, I got to drop out and get behind somebody. And then he didn't even say, I'm going to drop out. And hey, other guy, you should also drop out. And we should both get behind guy number 3. He didn't do that. He didn't say, hey, Cuomo, drop out. And we should both get behind Sliwa. Or hey, Sliwa, drop out. We should both get behind Cuomo. He didn't say that. He just said, you guys were mean to me. I'm out. So yeah, not really impressed by what Adams did. I would have rather him done something else. Thomas says, ranked choice or approval voting would solve this type of conundrum. I think you're right on that. The same way ranked choice voting helped him, meaning Mamdani, in the primary, it would actually get rid of him. It would. In this one. It would. Because he doesn't have 51%. And with ranked choice voting, you have to get to 50% plus 1. He doesn't have that. With ranked choice voting, Cuomo wins. I'm not making that up. With ranked choice voting, Cuomo wins this. Because the people who vote for Sliwa, if they put anybody else on their ranked choice, it's not going to be Mamdani. It's going to be Cuomo or nobody. Right? The people who vote for Adams, it's going to be Cuomo or nobody. Or maybe Sliwa. Some of the Adams people would have gone for Sliwa. For those who don't know, Adams used to be a cop. He's got some right-leaning. He also used to be a Republican. So he's got some right-leaning supporters. Those few supporters that are right-leaning would have gone to Sliwa. And then when Sliwa was out, they would have gone to Cuomo. So you're right. If there was ranked choice voting for the actual election, Mamdani doesn't win because he can't break over 50%. You're correct. That is true. Kind of funny. That is kind of funny. So there we go. Maximum Libertarian says, who was the independent? Again, it was Jim Walden. He's an attorney. And he's an attorney, by the way, for those who don't know, who actually spends a lot of time on election law. So, by the way, if you do run and need some help with election law, you should reach out to Jim Walden. Good guy. He's run before, and he also was trying to help RFK Jr. get on the ballot here in New York State. So he's gone down that road too. So there we go. I hope that was cool. Thomas says, mayors have little power if their council is behind them. So let's hope the city council moderates some of his agenda. Let me cover 2 things on this, Thomas. 2 pieces. Piece number 1. Most people don't realize the New York City mayor isn't as powerful as that sounds. He isn't as powerful as that sounds. Why? New York City is the only city, I think in the entire country, I'm pretty sure it's the entire country, that actually controls more than one county. So that means the governor has a whole lot of power. And because our bridges and tunnels go to other states, so does the president. Most cities don't have that. So yeah, the council also has a lot of power, multiple boroughs. Yes, you're right. People don't know that. Did you know that? You can tell me. 585-346-3000 is the number. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Radio, the voice of liberty. Back with more of your calls and your chat after the break.
God bless America.
WYSL. Avalon, Rochester. WLEA, WLEA-FM, Hornell, New York. FM Talk. Canisteo Valley Update.
Well, Election Day is coming up Tuesday, November 4th, but early voting in Steuben County, that'll start October 25th and run through Sunday, November 2nd. Hours for early voting, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Around here, you'll be able to vote in the Hornell Arts Center on Broadway in Hornell. There's also early voting at the Steuben County Annex Building in Bath and the Steuben County Southeast Library in Corning. In other county news, they're doing a best photo of the county contest. If you have a nice picture, please send it in to Eddie Van Stein. His email, evanstein@SteubenCountyNY.gov. And Van Stein is spelled Vanstine. And the contest winner's photo will be put up on the Steuben County Facebook page. Brian O'Neill for the Voice of Liberty.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We're looking at increasing clouds, see some showers towards morning, a mild night staying in the 60s on Tuesday. Have the umbrellas ready. Rainy day for a change. There'll be a few downpours out there, some rumbles of thunder as well with temps in the low 70s. Clearing and much cooler back into the 60s on Wednesday. I'm Rich Cornelia for the Voice of Liberty.
When you think chicken, think Stearns Poultry Farm Stores. Stearns Poultry Farm Stores with 2 locations, Seneca Street, Hornell, and Route 244 in Alfred Station. Stearns, the best chicken in these parts.
Summer rolls on in your new wheels from Victor Chevrolet. Now lease a 2025 Chevy Trax 1LT, just $159 a month for 24 months.
$5,000 cash or trade equity required. Must have any current lease in household.
If you need a pickup, get the versatility of a 2025 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab, just $199 a month for 24 months.
$5,000 at closing. Must have current 2020 or newer Chevrolet lease through General Motors financing.
And then there's the 2025 Chevy Equinox front-wheel drive LT. Only $199 a month for 24 months.
Must have any current lease in household.
And don't forget, Victor Chevrolet has an unbeatable pre-owned selection. Whether it's a Chevy or not, trust your vehicle to our Chevy Certified Service Department. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Together, let's drive.
Hey, Larry, we have Mike on the line.
VictorChevrolet.com.
10,000-mile allowance.
You're welcome.
Credit approval required. Lessee responsible for repair and maintenance. Conditions apply. Get details at dealer.
Is the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians the revival of an ancient conflict recorded in the Bible?
The nation of Israel is a resurrected nation. So what if there was going to be a resurrection of another people, an enemy people of Israel? The Bible speaks about this whole war as a dragon representing the enemy attacking a woman representing Israel.
Dinesh D'Souza's new film, The Dragon's Prophecy, offers new understanding of October 7th, Israel, radical Islam, anti-Semitism, and biblical prophecy. Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be tied to this place?
We came back to a land that was largely barren and empty, and we brought it back to life, and we're going to keep it.
The dragon will not prevail.
The Dragon's Prophecy, based on Jonathan Cahn's international bestseller. Watch it now or buy the DVD at salemnow.com. That's salemnow.com.
Bob Savage here again for Aaron Moore. I know you're feeling those crisp, cool nights, and as you notice the chillier air, that's also got to get you thinking about your recent rising energy bills. Good thing you can do what so many have discovered, that you can slash your heating costs this fall and winter with Aaron Moore infrared zone heaters while cranking down your furnace. Even better, Aaron Moore heat is quiet, clean, and even, and healthier. No burning of oxygen and particulates to dry out your nose, sinuses, and skin. And Aaron Moore heaters are completely safe for children and pets. No exposed hot surfaces or heating elements to pose shock, or fire hazards. Choose the best-selling Comfort Deluxe or the compact Comfort Buddy for smaller areas. Enter discount code WYSL in your shopping cart and save. Free shipping in the continental USA. Copper PTC technology means there are no bulbs to replace ever. Built like a battleship, maintenance-free air and more infrared zone heaters are the way to really save on heating bills like we do. At the Voice of Liberty, call 800-707-8725 or visit more.com.
Geneseo Hardware and Rental is your hometown home center. Expanded inventory for all project needs, inside and out. Open daily, including Sundays. Geneseo Hardware and Rental, Route 20A next to Wegmans Plaza.
Sharpe Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Radio, the Voice of Liberty, 585-346-3000. A couple of quick comments. Lonely Writer says, Larry, please offer your merch in plus sizes. Guys, if you want my merch, you can head over to LarrySharpe.com/shop if you want to. Head on over there. And when you put in what you want, there's a pull-down menu. Put whatever size you want. There's even a notes there. If you want like 3X, 4X, 5X, there's like 2X there. You can put whatever you want. Absolutely, yes, no worries. John says, thanks. Maximum Material says, thanks for doing what you do. Keep it up. Well, I am trying to keep it up. Every week I'm here on Sharpe Radio, making this happen. Absolutely. Not just chat on the chat, but also taking calls. Speaking of calls, I'm going to grab a call now if I could. This is Mike. Mike, how are you?
Hey, Larry, pretty good. Hey, Mamdani is going to win. Okay. The Democrat Party has swung so far to the left, they're going to stay there. AOC is the new uprising star. Okay, and the way I can prove that he's going to win, and he's going to do fairly well, is the real estate market in New York City. All the higher end apartments are going vacant right now, and or the prices are plummeting because all the rats are fleeing the ship. So,
yeah, but there's a little bit of a difference here, though, right? A little bit. And let me give you two pieces. Number one, the financial industry in New York City is demanding people return to the offices. They've been spending bazillion dollars on New York City real estate. So some of that middle level for New York City has been coming back. So some of that is happening. Second piece, I think some people still have hope, Mike. They still think, no, Cuomo will be in, and we don't like Cuomo, but he's establishment and we'll be fine. I think both of those things are true. I think one of the issues why the real estate's so bad is people are leaving not because of Mamdani, because of layoffs and cost of living. You think I'm wrong?
No, I think that's a part of it too. But I think some of the other people are hedging their bets.
Yeah,
and
that's also true.
As far as if you take a look, there was another latest statistic that a lot of Wall Street has been quietly moving to Texas.
Yes.
JP Morgan has more people in Texas than they do in New York City. I
yes,
think you're going to see that's going to be the trend.
This started under Cuomo. For those who don't know, Cuomo threatened that he was going to actually do a transaction tax on them. For every financial transaction done in New York City, the state was going to take a small cut. And they threatened him. And they said, if you do that, we're packing up. And the two cities they were going to go to were Austin and Miami. So Florida and Texas. And what's the common denominator between those two states, Mike?
No state sales tax. The begin with.
Bingo. You got it. Exactly right. No state income tax, and they're rushing over there. So I think they're prepping themselves in case a Mamdani or someone else comes in and says, we're going to start whatever, nationalizing banks or whatever. I think you're right.
Yep. Well, that's my point. So hopefully maybe somebody else will call and maybe have a different point.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Yeah, look, I think he's got a valid point. that has been happening since Cuomo, but it hasn't been as, I guess, obvious as it is now. Like now, as Mike said, he's right. You can tell now. There are many financial institutions that now have a bunch of their personnel someplace else. Now, here's the issue. For those who've been paying attention, many years ago, tech would follow finance. And one of the benefits of that is Brooklyn used to be a great place for tech, particularly like that new tech, upstarts like that. Why? Because for those who don't know, Brooklyn is very close to downtown Manhattan, which was where all the finance used to be. Well, those days are long gone. Since 9/11, a lot of the finance has gone up towards Park Avenue. And also, since tech dominates everything now finance follows tech. So you might say, well, Larry, they're all going to go to Silicon Valley over there in San Francisco. Well, that was a trend. You were finding lots of banks who would have two major hubs. One will be New York City. The other will be San Francisco. That was true. But where are all the tech people going now? Where'd Elon go? Where's like Facebook going? Where they all going? Oh, yeah, Texas. That's to Mike's point. Finance follows tech. So when Musk and all the boys pack up and head on down to Texas, the finance guys go, we going there too. So they all went down there. Absolutely true. Mike is on the money. All right. James says, shame on Walden for endorsing Cuomo. What's up with people following Mark Victor's footsteps? Well, look, I get your point. For those who don't know, Mark Victor was a libertarian in Arizona who dropped out when he thought he couldn't win and endorsed the Republican. In this case, Walden dropped out and endorsed the independent/Democrat. The difference I'll give you, James, the difference, and if I can defend Walden on this one, he actually set it up front. So you knew what you were getting into. Like he announced that up front and he asked the others to join him. So I hope that's a little bit of a difference. So yeah, that's the reason why. Mike says, the unspoken problem for the state is Mamdani likely ushers in more socialists across the state, all pushing free stuff. The net result across the state will be more poverty and more dependence on government. No lies detected. That is on the money true. And once one person wins, you'll find the rest start jumping on board. I think you're right. This goes back to the other Mike's point when he said AOC's the new front person. She kind of is. And good. For her, smart move. I'm glad that she is doing that for her. Not good for us. But if I was advising her, I'd be saying the same thing. So, SRV says, Republicans have nothing to do with this. This is all on a Democratic line. Those only ones to blame is Democrats. He will win. There's no doubt about it. SRV, I disagree. I think you got to blame Republicans too. And why? This is politics. They should have seen this coming. I did. They should have seen this coming. And they should have either gotten cash or more personalities or more press or whatever they thought was the right plan to either support a bigger campaign or get 100% behind Sliwa. Mike Voss says he should have jumped behind Sliwa. Mike's right. They should have. They should have jumped behind him a long time ago with tons of money. And they didn't. I hear your point, but Republicans got to take some blame on this too. They also have to. And not having a great plan. I'm going to give something to Sliwa, though. Again, obviously I'm biased, but Sliwa has a separate line. It's the stop animal cruelty line or something like that. And it's another line that gets people to see something else he's trying to do, something he cares about. It's not a bad idea. I think he's going to get more votes because of it. I think that's true. SRB goes on to say, maybe Cuomo should have written off Republicans when he said they're not welcome in the state. I bet he sure could use some Republican voters now. Oh, are you correct on that? Oh, how the tables have turned. You are correct, my friend. And for those of you who remember, he said, there's no place for conservatives in this state. That's what he said. Oh, yeah. I know he's eating them words right now. He wish he was like, well, there's some space for you. If you vote for me like in Staten Island or something, I'm sure now he's wishing he hadn't said that. But no, we remember. I remember that. Absolutely. He did say that, and I am sure he is regretting that now. Yes. Gene says, I have never understood how people can afford to live in New York City. This is an important thing, Gene. To understand New York City and why people are leaving, part of what the caller Mike said, New York City's always been a tough place to live. Always. New York City's always been more socialistic than other cities or other areas, even though not as bad as now, but it was always a little bit. But people didn't mind. Why? Because the opportunity was so great. People were okay because they knew if I could make it here, it's the song. I can make it anywhere. This is where I come to be somebody. And if I got to suffer and bust my rump for 3 years and struggle and eat ramen noodles for 3 years, doesn't matter because I'm going to be a banker and make $1 gazillion, or I'm going to be an entrepreneur and make $1 bazillion, or I'm going to be an actor and make $1 bazillion. Well, that opportunity is gone. Doesn't happen here anymore. Nowhere near. New York City used to be a place you came to be somebody. Now you leave it to be somebody. So Gene, he didn't care if they could afford it because the chance for success was so high. Not anymore. It's a problem. You think I'm right? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, Shortwave Radio, on the Voice of Liberty. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Debunking advertising from the law office of Christopher Johnson. One ad some injury attorneys inundate you with, what's your case worth? Call us and find out. You know, nobody can tell you, quote, what your case is worth over the phone. Nobody knows. The ultimate answer to, quote, what your case is worth involves weeks or months of research, evaluation, and preparation. Many factors go into any compensation you might get, like applicable law, who's actually at fault, how much insurance coverage there is, and many, many other factors. At the law office of Christopher Johnson, the singular focus is getting your life back on track after an accident or injury. That takes money, and it helps when the advice and legal advice you get has a one-on-one focus informed by straight talk. Christopher Johnson Attorney, car, truck, motorcycle accidents, personal injury, and DWI defense. Call 585-415-3803. 585-415-3803.
Youth for Christ Rochester is creating a safe sanctuary and a Christ culture for at-risk city kids. Our basketball programs provides a strict code of conduct, discipline, and mentoring to give our kids the boundaries they need and crave. Our God's Girls middle school program is so popular, we're now in 3 city schools and growing. Our Performing Arts Academy explores and identifies untapped gifts, all while delivering the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Gonna come back with a Cuomo clip.
YFCRochester.org/donate.
Sharpeway Radio on the Voice of Liberty.
These extreme conservatives who are right to life, pro-assault weapon, anti-gay, they have no place in the state of New York because that's not who New Yorkers are.
Oh, see? I didn't make that up. He said it. You crazy people who are pro-life, pro-weapons. Sure. No space here in New York City for you. New York State. Except this election, I got jokes. I'm kidding. That's what he's thinking right now. Absolutely terrible. But yeah. But I want to go back to what Jean said, or what she asked or said. She could never understand how people can afford to live in New York City. Right now, many of them have 2, 3, and 4 roommates. That's how. They live like that. Something else. They don't save any money. They don't. They just spend, spend, spend. Many of them are in heavy debt. There's actually, you can see now, a huge chunk of people who aren't paying off their student loans, just saying no. And they're getting their wages garnished because they won't pay their debts. So that's how they afford. They don't. That should answer your question. Robert says, unpopular opinion. I don't think, in quotes, he says, leftist voters, the left has a black problem, true, is ready to fight the right because they haven't even figured out a way to overcome their centrist peers within the party. This is a great point, Robert. What the Republicans did by mistake, they weren't thinking this. They wound up getting Trump in place. And Trump is again, like him or not, he is a strong personality. Like there's no tomorrow. He's an anomaly. He's someone who can unite the clans with his own force of will. So the right has that advantage. The left doesn't have that. You're right. There is no, Hakeem Jeffries is not the guy who's going to unite the left, right? That's not a thing, right? Chuck Schumer, not going to unite the left with his iron will. That's not a thing. I think your point is valid. The left doesn't have someone who can unite them all. Now, to caller Mike's point, is AOC more popular? Yes, that's true. But she does not unite all the clans within the left. I think it's a valid point.
Roger.
It may be unpopular, your opinion, but I think you're right. I definitely do. So let me grab a call if I could. This is Roger. Roger, how are you?
Hey, Larry.
How are you?
So, good. So pretty much, look, them's are all talk and no action. They
True.
tell you just like how you said before. They speak in a way of, hey, I understand your problem. Let me break down how I know your problem. And
true. No, Democrats have good rhetoric. That's true. Their rhetoric is very good.
Mm-hmm. And then they say, we're going to give you this. This is our solution. And we'll say, well, that's not the solution that we want. We know how to solve our own problems. But
yes.
That's not what we want. No, we're going to give you this. Yeah, but this is not how you do it. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
And then it's like, this is the reason why it doesn't matter who gets elected. What matters is whether or not we have the power to enact legislation and ratify amendments ourselves. And
I agree.
Yeah, I know. So I'm really not impressed with Mamdani. You know what I mean? I think he's, he already, most people don't even know, like, he already had a meeting with Jamie Dimon, and he said, yeah, I feel comfortable with him. So,
wow.
Like, what?
He sold out before he even won. He didn't even win yet.
Yes, there was somebody, I'll send you the New York Post article. And there was somebody else in that private equity group that was just like, yeah, we had a friendly conversation with them. This was back in August, I think it was. And
wow.
and people are saying, people like Crystal Ball saying, oh, why doesn't Hakeem Jeffries endorse him? I was like, you fool! If someone like Hakeem Jeffries, you don't want Hakeem Jeffries to endorse him because that makes people run away. I was like,
absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's funny.
These people are still in the Democrat Party, and they're still like, oh yes, they're giving the old Democrat heave-ho. Look, like I said before, the real left, because I know Mike said, oh, Democrats swung so far left. I was like, no, they just swung left in rhetoric. They haven't swung left in action. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
We left. Those who are left, we left the fake left.
Well, this is Robert's point.
Left.
I think we don't see the same on the left as we see on the right. Trump is a uniting force. there's no uniter on the left right now. I think there was back in the day, it was Bill Clinton. That was probably 30 years ago. But since then, there's been no one who's even come close. So anyway, thanks for the call, my friend. I appreciate it. All right. I want to grab a couple more comments if I could. Let's see here. SRB got a lot to say. He says, Larry, if Republicans cannot beat Kathy Hochul for governorship, what makes you think Republicans can beat a socialist in New York City? Early on, they could have. Now they can't. But I'm talking early on, when there were 5 people running in a 5-way race with money all split, and you only have to get a plurality among 5 people. That means like 30% to win. You need 30% in New York City. You got a guy like Sliwa who just campaigns every day, every night, everywhere. You throw $10 million at a guy like him, you got a shot. But that needed to happen early on. Right now, you are correct. It's over. It's over. Guy so smooth, he agrees with me. He says, exactly. Planning should have been better. Currently, there are no strong contenders against Mamdani. Yes, this is my point, RSV. If this had been done April, March, I would even say May, but I think like April, March, there was a chance. That chance existed. And then people might have all dropped out and got behind him in some way, shape, or form. I think that could have worked. Sadly, for Sliwa, I think that ship has sailed. So there's my view. Maybe disagree, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Thomas says, Research Triangle in North Carolina is drawing a lot of tech, and Charlotte, North Carolina is drawing back a lot of finance. Charlotte was a major financial center historically. But Thomas, you are missing one important piece regarding North Carolina. Do you happen to know what state has the lowest business income tax rate? Oh, yes, North Carolina, 2.5%. I was, depending upon where you are in New York State, is around 6. So we're around 6%. They are around 2.5%. So if you're making hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, whole lot better to be in North Carolina than to be in New York. But the most important piece, though, you brought up Charlotte. Charlotte, as you probably know, is not only a major financial center, it's also a major hub. Airlines, buses, trains, it's a major hub. And already has big businesses and big power companies there in Charlotte already. How do I know? I considered moving there years ago. So I know exactly the background. I did my homework there. So Charlotte is doing very well. But it isn't just Charlotte, obviously. It's also Raleigh, right? That area, Durham. That area also is growing. Same piece. It's because of the tax rate and also because of the infrastructure that's already there. The Raleigh-Durham area, full of colleges. The Charlotte area, it's a business hub. Of course, that's the piece. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. Maybe next week I won't talk about Manami. I probably will. Anyway, guys, I will see you all very soon.